Good afternoon. So yesterday we began our discussion on Bosede, Ademilua-Afolayan's Once Upon an Elephant as a good example of African drama set in pre-colonial times and which portrays the theme of dictatorship and bad leadership in Africa. We ended the lecture at the point where we started looking at the scene by scene analysis of the play, and we stopped at Act 3 of 14. So today we'll begin from Act 4 and we'll complete the analysis today so that next week we can take on another play. As usual, I encourage you to get hold of the text of the play and read. Act 4 of Once Upon an Elephant is set in Odejimi's house. He walks in and sits down thinking. There's music in the background. Music is an important element of drama. Remember that Iyale is his wife. Iyale is the wife of Odejimi. She is seen rushing in. She rushes in. Iyale has come in to pick her headgear to join the others in celebrating the new king. Remember that in Act 3, the king has assumed the throne. So Iyale wants to join the other women in celebrating the new king. Her husband seems unmoved by her activities and excitement about the new king. She wonders why Odejimi is not at the palace with the other elders. Remember that Odejimi is one of the elders who oppose the kingship of Ajanaku. The expression "Balimi" means my husband, as we will find in the notes. Iyale advises her husband not to fret about situations that he has no control over. She advises the husband, Iyale advises Odejimi not to fret about situations over which he has no control. Odejimi does not believe that his wife could contribute to solving the problem in society, because society that is portrayed in Once Upon an Elephant is a patriarchal society. And there is a tendency in patriarchal society not to recognize the strength of women or the contribution of women, or there's a tendency in patriarchal society to play down on the strength of women. So Odejimi seems not to believe that Iyale, his wife, could contribute to the solution needed in society, especially in the problem of leadership. But of course, the women in the play are going to prove the men wrong, because the dethronement of Ajanaku is made possible by women like Iyaba, Iyale, and Demoke. So, by not believing in the strength of women, by not believing in the ability of women to contribute to the growth of society, this play alludes to Lysistrata by Aristophanes, that we studied earlier on the course. Act 5. This scene takes place at the palace, where the king, Ajanaku, is in council with the elders, where they are settling a land dispute between a man and a woman. It is in this land dispute that we see the greed and the unjust nature of Ajanaku. This case is a difficult case, which had previously been handled by Ajanaku's father, King Jobi. Serubawan calls it a complicated one and says that the previous king couldn't settle it for fear of hurting the two parties. But Adejimi reminds everyone that the previous king had tasked the parties to mutually work on the land because of how complicated the case was. King Jobi settled the land case by asking the two parties to share the land and work on it together, right? Because of how difficult the case was. Both the men and the women insist on owning the land alone. Both the man and the woman insist on owning the land alone. The woman says the land belongs to her ancestors, going by the story her father told her before he died. The man says his forefathers had farmed on the land, that he had been farming on the land before the woman was born. The woman says that this is a lie. So you could see that it's a difficult case. Each party has a testimony to give. The land in dispute happens to be very rich with cocoa, vegetables, and palm fruits. So I said yesterday, it's a very rich land. So immediately the king hears about this, he begins to eye the land. Maybe Ajanagu knows that the land is a rich one. He begins to eye the land, wants the land for himself. The case is not decided in favor of the woman. The king says that the council will manage the land henceforth and will convey the decision in due course. He takes the land from the two parties and says that it's the council that is going to be managing the land from now on, because the land is rich. Alright, that shows the greed of Ajanaku as king. His father decided that the two parties should mutually share the land and work on it. But because of his greed and because he knows that the land is rich, he says that the council has taken the land from the two parties. Okay? The old man had only cultivated the land because the woman's children refused to do so, but the land truly belongs to the woman. That's the fact from the novel. Iyaba enters. Remember, Iyaba worries Ajanaku's life throughout this play. Iyaba enters. She mostly speaks in riddles and wise sayings, speaks using innuendos, riddles, wise sayings. Iyaba is a woman. She's the former wife of King Jobi, who was disgraced out of the palace through false accusation of adultery. After learning about the Serubawan Adebisi affair and the fact that affair produced Ajanaku, She's told she's not supposed to be at the palace by Gundele. Gundele said that Iyaba is not supposed to be at the palace. Remember that Iyaba is considered to be mad by the people, and she's considered to be mad simply because she tells the truth and she lives like an outcast outside the village. Right? Ajanaku orders that she should be taken out. Iyaba should be taken out. Her words serve as a warning to the king and the corrupt council members. She leaves, and the king warns that she should never be allowed in the palace again. We are told that she used to live in the palace. Right? I've told you that and why she was forced out of the palace and made to live like an outcast. Act 6. Act 6 is set in the palace. Ajanaku engages in a conversation with Iyaba, the king's wife. Omoyeni is present during this conversation. Ajanaku sees himself as the conqueror of lands and forests. Remember, one of the attributes of dictators is that they like praise names. They like to fan their ego with titles. So this is the same case with Ajanaku, who calls himself conqueror of the lands and forests. So the dictators love praise names, love big titles, long titles, praising themselves. So this is how Ajanaku wants Iyaba to address him, not whatever abusive name that Iyaba used on him. Alright? He called Iyaba mad for saying that the lizard may resemble a crocodile, but they are certainly different. This is an innuendo that refers to Ajanaku. The lizard may resemble a crocodile, but they are certainly different. Meaning that Ajanaku is not the real son of Akinjobi. Alright? Though he claims to be one. The lizard may resemble a crocodile, but they are certainly different. It seems that the king had denied Iyaba of a right. So Iyaba says, "What you took from me and others will be returned in due course of time." This is an instance of foreshadowing in the play. An instance of foreshadowing of what will happen at the end of the play when those that Ajanaku wronged will reclaim their lives from him. Alright? So that is what we find in Iyaba's words. What you took from me and others will be returned in due course of time. That's what Iyaba says to Ajanaku. The king accuses Iyaba of adultery and says the previous king was right to have excommunicated her, as to have sent her out of the palace. But of course this is false, because it was done so that she would get out of the way and not be a conscience to Sarubawan and Adebisi, the younger wife of King Jobe. It's obvious that Iyaba was or is Akinjobi's wife. I thought this palace belongs to my husband Akinjobi. The conversation also reveals that the king had died. Akinjobi had died by this time. Iyaba's words also suggest that the new king had a hand in the death of the old king, and that is not the legitimate king. You only kill a man, but not his good deeds. Iyaba has a way of saying very wise words throughout this play. When you read the play, you pay attention to that. The tag of murderer is also suggested in the following words by Iyaba. What is being thrown out by you compared to what you did many years ago? Is caressing a dead body not better than killing it? So she also indirectly accuses Ajanaku of being a murderer. Iyaba suggests that the new king is a philanderer. Somebody who has a womanizer, so to speak, running after everything in wrapper without shame, a philanderer. Accuses him of running after everything in wrapper without shame. Omoyeni arrives with guards. Omoyeni arrives with guards. Iyaba questions Omoyeni on abandoning the man who wanted to marry her in order to be a Janaku's wife. What's the name of the man? Delani. Alright? We said it yesterday. Omoyeni is the daughter of Ajasa. We said it yesterday. The blacksmith. Her mother is Adoni. Her mother is Adoni. Omoyeni's mother is Adoni. Delani is the man who had worked in Ajasa's furnace for months to earn the hand of Omoyeni in marriage. We said this yesterday too. Omoyeni is pregnant. Iyaba asks whose child it is. As if Iyaba knows that the child does not belong to Ajanaku but to Delani. You know, this is a village setting. People tend to know everything. Alright? At least there will be rumors. Okay? Iyaba says the truth without fear in this play. Iyaba says the truth without fear. Even though she's a woman, she speaks truth to power. She tells Ajanaku the truth. She says the king is vainglorious and has an empty brain. Most dictators are not intelligent people. No intelligent person will want to oppress another person. Dictators lack sense because they don't know that power is vain, all right, and will end any moment. So you are supposed to use your power to treat people well and not to oppress them. She also accuses him of deception. You proclaimed me many years ago and deceived my husband with your deceitful conduct. So you could see that what Ajanaku and Serubawan did to Iyaba. So the king keeps accusing Iyaba of madness. When somebody tells truth to power, they might resort to ruining the person's reputation just so that people will not believe in what that person says. That's why they're calling her mad, because you won't believe the words of a mad person as having substance. You always think that the man's word should not be listened to. Okay, so that's why they keep calling her mad, but she's not mad. Then Serubawan enters. Serubawan enters. It is being revealed that Serubawan is Ajanaku's real father. Serubawan is Ajanaku's real father. Iyaba accuses Ajanaku of not being the legitimate son of Akinjobi. So Iyaba knows the truth about the relations, right, of Akinjobi and Serubawan. All this while in the play, we believe that Ajanaku is the son of Akinjobi. At least that's why he should be king. But we are being told that he is not, that he is the son of Serubawan, which is why Serubawan is doing everything to make him king, so that Serubawan will be powerful during his reign. Iyaba is bundled out by the guards on the orders of the king and Serubawan. Serubawan is mad at the guards for not being vigilant enough, which is why Iyaba gained entrance into the palace. This is how people who speak truth to power are usually treated. They are handled, sometimes beaten, sometimes imprisoned, just to make their life uncomfortable. Okay? Iyaba's words trouble Ajanaku. He begins to question Serubawan on them. This is an instance of anagnorisis, where a secret is revealed in drama that will lead to the destruction of the tragic hero. That's anagnorisis. Serubawan says Iyaba is insane, just so that Ajanaku will not believe what Iyaba has said. Serubawan also claims that she's insane. Act 7. So what you need to notice in this place is that madness is a motive. Madness is a motive. Because even those calling Iyaba mad are mad too. No sane person will behave like Ajanaku and Serobawan. They are mad. So perhaps they are the real mad people. Okay, so madness becomes a motif in this play. Act 7. Act 7 is set in the palace where the elders are in council, presided over by Ajanaku. The plight of the people of Oguno is reported in this act. We talked about the people of Oguno yesterday, right? They need help from Ajanaku and his people, whom they pay tribute to. The people of Oguno have been paying tribute to Ajanaku for protection. Now is the time for them to be protected because they are being attacked by their neighbors. Okay? According to man 1, according to the first man, by written like this. According to man 1, that's somebody from one of the delegations from Oguno. Okay? The delegations from Oguno. According to man 1, Oguno people are being invaded by unknown people and need help. Being invaded by unknown people and they need help. Ajanaku says the Oguno people deserve no mercy and accuses the people of not paying the increased tribute they were asked to pay. We said all of this yesterday. The people complain through one of their representatives, that's man 2, of the incessant increment in tributes and the need for the people to be given some time to adjust in order to be able to pay up. Just give us some more time, we'll pay you, but come to our defense. But Ajanaku insists on the payment of tribute before help could be rendered to the people of Oguno. So Ajanaku is seen as a king that is heartless, has no human sympathy, because he doesn't want people to see him as a weak person. All right? So Bawan supports the king. After all, if more tributes are paid, some will get into his pockets. All right? Ademilua is more sympathetic towards the people of Oguno. More pleading, but the king ignores the people. There is more pleading, but the king ignores the people. And man 1 is by name Beleye. That's the name of man 1, or first man. That's how you're supposed to call it. First man. Name is Beleye. So you should take down some of these things, some of these notes. This particular one I'm reading, they are not on the website. The one on the website is different because this one is a detailed analysis. Except I have time to probably type them and post them on the website. But it's not like the one on the website. That one is different. This one is act by act analysis. So you might want to take down some of these details. So man 1's name is Beleye. Man 1 gets angry, or first man gets angry out of frustration. First man recalls to Ajanaku that his father, Akinjabi, did not treat them this way. Okay? That means his father was a better king, a more sympathetic king than Ajanaku. So he reminds Ajanaku that Oguno people and Ajanaku's people are supposed to be family. So King Ajanaku is angry at first man. He graphically describes how his father, Akinjabi, died a disgraceful death, abandoned and alone, because he was weak. So he does not want to be weak like his father. He asks guards to seize the man, strip him of his clothes, and let him burn in the sun. That's the punishment that was given to first man for daring to question Ajanaku. The man draws a knife and threatens the guards, who backs off. Then he stabs himself. and then the guards carrying him out. That's a kind of honor suicide. Instead of being disgraced, let me kill myself. Honor suicides happen all the time. So this is called honor suicide. The man refuses to be humiliated, instead he decides to die. Right? During slavery, some slaves that were taken from Igbo land jumped into the ocean to drown instead of being slaves in another man's land. That's still honor suicide. Alright? There's an argument between Ogundele and Odejimi over loyalty to the king. So that's where you have the theme of loyalty in the play. Ogundele asks Odejimi, why Odejimi is always against the king. Ogundele asks Odejimi why he is always against the king. Alright? Ademilua says that Ajanaku took the crown through the back door. By that it is meant that Ajanaku did not go through the right process of becoming king. Ogundele subtly accuses Ademilua of plotting against the king in secret. So that's loyalty. Ogundele is now seen to be loyal to the king. Alright? And now sees Ademilua who tells the truth as what? As a bad person, as a being against the king. But telling the truth to power does not necessarily mean that you do not support the power. Right? You do not support the king. But because it's a dictatorship, any form of truth is hated. Act 8 of 14. Act 8 of 14. This scene is set in the bush where Odokunle and Desola are together. Desola requests Odokunle to sing another song for her again. Yes, he does, and she dances. They are just playing the romance, where they usually meet. The stage direction describes Ajanaku's bodyguard stalking the couple in the bush. This is where the rape will take place. Alright? The guards arrest them. Ajanaku appears and tells Odokunle that his interest is in Desola, not him. He gives instructions to the lady to be brought to him. So this is where Desola is raped in the play. Act 9 of 14. Act 9 is set in Lere's house, where Odokunle is with his friends, Yele, Lere, and Dele. Okay? It is revealed in the conversation that Desola was raped in the bush by Ajanaku, protected by the guards. Dele is accusing Odokunle of being a coward. Dele is accusing Odokunle of being a coward. Alright? Now we have said that in Act 8, we have said that Odokunle and Desola met in the bush and that they were playing love, the thing that lovers normally do, when Ajanaku came with the bodyguards and raped Desola, protected by the guards so that Odokunle could not do anything. Right? Now in Act 9, we see Odokunle in Lere's house. Other friends are there, like Yele, Lere, and Dele. Okay, it is Lere's house, so you have Odokunle there, you have Yele there, and Dele. It is revealed in the conversation that Desola was raped in the bush by Ajanaku, protected by the guards. Dele is accusing Odokunle of being a coward for not doing anything while the rape took place. As a man, is supposed to protect the lover, the woman. Odokunle's defense is that the guards were armed, so he could not do anything. Yele is more sympathetic and understanding towards Odekunle and his plight. Dele insults Odekunle, calling him a bastard and his father a coward. Odekunle fights with Dele, then they are separated. The fight is separated. Odekunle explains that Ajanaku meant to kill him and Desola if he resisted his action, the rape action. Dele is not happy that Odekunle kept his relationship with Desola a secret, including their meeting place. That's where he says the snake that travels alone gets killed by the farmer. The snake that travels alone gets killed by the farmer. Which is said yesterday as one of the proverbs or wise sayings in the play. Odekunle refuses to name Ajanaku as the assailant. Maybe he had been threatened, but finally he mentions that Ajanaku was the assailant. Dele suggests marching to the palace to confront Ajanaku. Lele advises caution. Odekunle recalls how everyone kept quiet when Ajanaku forcefully took Delani's lover, Omoyemi, from Delani. Okay? Simply because Delani is an orphan and will not have anyone to speak for him. So Ajanaku took the lover of Delani, Omoyemi, from him because he's an orphan. But Delani is an orphan and will have nobody to speak for him. Omoyemi is Yele's sister. Omoyemi is Yele's sister. Omoyemi is Yele's sister. Omoyemi is Yele's sister. Take note of that. Delani is Dele's brother. Delani is Dele's brother. Delani is Dele's brother. Delani is Dele's brother. These are the facts that emerge. Another fact that emerges from the place that when the people keep silent, the dictatorship thrives. When people keep silent, the dictatorship thrives. Act 10 of 14. Act 10 of 14 is set in Zerubbabel's house. Is set in Zerubbabel's house. Act 10 of 14 is set in Zerubbabel's house. Desola is seen crying. Desola is depicted crying. Remember, Desola is Zerubbabel's daughter. Desola, a friend, enters. Desola says that Desola should be happy to be Ajanaku's wife as God has answered her prayers. So it should be like you are being done a favor to marry a king. So you shouldn't worry. Desola says that what happened is not an answer to prayer, but a torrent of curses because she has been raped. Alright? Demoke, Zerubbabel's wife, enters. Demoke, Zerubbabel's wife, enters. She rebukes Desola for saying that the proposed or forced marriage to Ajanaku is shameful. Desola said she is finished and that there will be no white handkerchief. Maybe they are yet to know that she's been raped. They simply think that the king wants to take her as a wife. She says her pride was taken, but does not say by who. She says she has to talk to the father. So Baba enters, and after pauses and Desola opens up about the rape. So Desola tells Sorobawan about the rape. Act 11 of 14. This act is set in the palace where Ajanaku and the pregnant Omoyene are in a romantic mood. Ajanaku boasts of siring another elephant from his loins. Okay, elephant. Another elephant from his, because he is an elephant, so the child that Omoyene is going to bear is going to be another elephant. But of course we know by now that the child does not belong to him. So this is dramatic irony. They are romantically discussing the baby in Omoyene's belly, especially about the kicks of the baby. The baby is giving Omoyene some kicks, which is a natural thing. And so Baron comes in and says that he needs to talk with Ajanaku. Ajanaku asks Omoyene to excuse them. Have you come to remind royalty of the services long offered and duly compensated? Ajanaku says to Sir Baron when asked how he could do that. How could you do that? That's what Sir Baron asked him. By that question, it means, why did you rape my daughter? Okay? How could you do that? So we are now introduced to the 90-day rights. To the 90-day rights. You can note it in your notebook, the 90-day rights. Every 90 days, Ajanaku must find and sleep with a virgin. That's a 90-day right. It's what is going to make him immortal. In the ceremony that we notice at the end of the play. Every 90 days, Ajanaku must find and sleep with a virgin. So Baron asked Ajanaku what he did with the 90-day rites. It is revealed in the conversation that Sir Baron is the chief priest and has the king at his mercy. Ajanaku calls himself a miserable king who is not well liked and who is only counting days. He knows that his end will come, but he did not become king through the right process, and the people do not like him. All dictators know this because they not come to power the right way. The power, their reign cannot be long. So Baron questioned Ajanaku on his recklessness. You know that also Baron said that Ajanaku is out of his mind. So madness as a motive. Everybody's mad in the place. Right? Ajanaku as the stooge or the toy of Sir Baron. Yesterday I said how some kings are usually puppets, whereas the real people with power are those behind, pushing the buttons. So Ajanaku sees himself as the stooge or the toy of Sir Baron. I sit on the throne, but it is you who hold the rope and the hook in your hand. So this is the ironic thing about leadership in Africa, most leadership in Africa. The people that we see on the television may not actually be the ones who are holding the power. The real powerful people are behind the scenes in the darkness. Right? It is revealed that the rape of Desola was ritualistic. I said it yesterday. It was not just an ordinary rape, it was a ritual. So this is what Ajanaku tells Baron. I have had the 6th virgin, so do your job, but thank me for keeping my word. So this is the 6th virgin. Maybe one is left to complete the ritual. So Baron says that Ajanaku did not choose his victim carefully, as he had ruined something dear to him. So Baron cries, saying that it shouldn't have been Desola, his daughter. So you can see, he knows that it has come to the end. That tears that he's shedding, actually shedding the tears for the end of his life, because he knows that he cannot live after what he has done, what has happened. He has used his own hands to destroy himself. Okay? Fred, what is the problem? Why are you distracting Precious? And so what's the question? Ajanaku says Desola had begged him despite being stubborn. Ajanaku says Desola had begged him despite being stubborn. Ajanaku and Serobawon get into a heated argument which results in a struggle or a fight. Ajanaku orders the guards to bundle Serobawon out of his palace. Ajanaku has slept with Desola, Serobawon's daughter, and all is not well again between him and Serobawon. This is the height of the conflict in the play, the height of the crisis in the play, Act 12 of 14. This act is set in Iyaba's house, where she is depicted grinding pepper. Omoyani has gone to visit Iyaba. She says she needs Iyaba's help and that she hasn't come to steal. Omoyani questions Iyaba. She's on her knees about the last visit to the palace when she asked about the king's father, when she should have known that the man had died. I don't know why you see the picture. Iyaba asked about Ajanaku's father because Omoyani thinks that the king's father is a king who had died. So why do you ask him about it again? About the father again, as if he's still alive? Meaning that Iyaba knows that Serobawon is actually the real father of Ajanaku. Alright? So Omoyani questions Iyaba on her knees about the last visit to the palace when Iyaba asked about the king's father, when Iyaba should have known that the man had died. Omoyani says she does not believe that Iyaba is mad. Okay? So Omoyani says that she knows that Iyaba is not mad, but of course it is a lie by people like Serobawon and Ajanaku, so that people will not listen to what Iyaba has to say. Omoyani reveals to Iyaba that Ajanaku is not the father of the child she is carrying. Omoyani reveals to Iyaba that Ajanaku is not the father of the child that she is carrying. The mother knows who owns the child. Okay? She reveals that the child belongs to Delani. Iyale is Odejimi's wife. Omoyani says that Iyale does not believe that Iyaba is mad. So Omoyani, Iyale, these are the women that will help work with Iyaba to dethrone Ajanaku. Act 13 of 14. This act is set in Iyaba's house. Iyale meets in Demoke, Serobawon's wife. Odekunle carries Desola on his back. Also present are Yosola, Desola's friend, Yele, friends of Odekunle, Odejimi's son. These are the good forces that will lead to the destruction and will put their heads together and bring about the destruction of Ajanaku. Let me say that again. This act is set in Iyaba's house. Iyale is Odejimi's wife. She lives in Demoke, Serobawon's wife, right? And then Odekunle carries Desola, his lover, on his back. She's so weak now, can't do anything because she's dying, because the rape was a ritual. Also present are Yosola, that is Desola's friend, and then Yele, who are friends of Odekunle. Odekunle is Odejimi's son. I will remember the relationship. All greet Iyaba on the orders of Iyale. Iyale tells Iyaba that there is a problem in the land. That there is trouble in the land. Know that Iyaba constantly reminds people that she is mad and that madness goes around. right? Iyale and Demoke informed Iyaba that Desola, her adopted daughter, because Iyaba says Desola has a child, a daughter, is dying. Informed Iyaba that Desola is dying. Desola is carried inside, and what happened to her is told to Iyaba. So Bawan enters just as the conversation turns to Bawan enters just as the conversation turns to him. And are discussing what Desola is going through. It is revealed by Demoke that Bawan refused to inform his wife about what happened to Desola. Iyaba's real name is Fadeke, Omar Fadeke Adoni. It is in the notes on the website. Iyaba's real name is what? Fadeke, or Omar Fadeke Adoni. Right? Omar Fadeke Adoni. That's Iyaba's name. Iyaba reveals that Bawan had an affair with Akinjobi's second wife, Adebisi. Both turned around to friend Iyaba and disgraced her out of the palace. We said this before. So Bawan confirmed that he is Ajanaku's father. So Bawan confirms that he is Ajanaku's father. This means that Ajanaku only succeeded in sleeping with his sister, which is abomination, incest. So you can discuss the theme of incest in the play. If Bawan is father to Ajanaku, and Ajanaku raped Desola, Bawan's daughter, the implication is that they have committed incest, which is an abomination. The brother has slept with the sister. Then we are told about Ijedodo, it's in the notes. Ijedodo, which is the ritual that Ajanaku did while sleeping with Desola. Ijedodo is described in the play as a ritual rep that feeds on the blood of the virgin to keep whoever had done it alive, while the virgin dies a slow and painful death. This is what Iyaba reveals to the people what happened to Desola. So it's a serious matter. At this revelation, Odekunle wants to kill Sir Bawan with a cutlass. And Iyaba tells him, do not, out of anger, rename yourself. One of the wise sayings in the play. Do not, out of anger, rename yourself. What does that mean? What does that mean? How would Odekunle rename himself? And what name will it be? Become a murderer. Very good. You guys are intelligent. He kills Sir Bawan out of anger. People will now call him murderer. So do not, out of anger, rename yourself. Right? This is what the Iyaba says to Odekunle when he's angry and wants to cut Sir Bawan with a cutlass. And of course, it's good to always remain calm, not to be angry. Or even when you're angry, you're not supposed to take rash actions. Because Sir Bawan is going to kill himself. So why take his blood in your hands? Okay? Out of anger. Delani and Omoyeni come in. Omoyeni said she gave in to Ajanaku's love of her choice to save her parents and Delani because, he always threatens the lovers and the parents. If you don't give in, I'll kill your people, I'll kill your father, kill your lover, and all of that. The same thing he did with Odekunle, that Odekunle resists, he will kill Desola. You understand? Threats. is also the weapon of a dictator, right? So Bawan says that Ajanaku's immortality back is in 3 days' time. He wants to use Omoyoni's pregnancy to destroy Ajanaku. He wants to use Omoyoni's pregnancy to destroy Ajanaku. So Bawan is also ready to destroy the tyrant king because of what he has done. Omoyoni is afraid and hides behind Iyaba. Belani is furious with Bawan and Iyale asked Iyaba if there is another way instead of using the pregnancy of Omoyoni to destroy. You know, Bawan is always looking for the rash and the drastic methods. But Iyale has a better solution that will save the baby that Omoyoni is carrying, and without harm to any good person. Only the bad person will be harmed. But Bawan, being an evil person, wanting to destroy a pregnancy just to destroy another person. All right? So these are the details that are required if you read the play. So there's going to be Yobele festival when Ajanaku will have his bath of immortality. And then we now move on to the final act of the play, which is Act 14. This act is set at the palace. It is Jobele festival. Jobele festival. Everyone is present except Bawan. Why? Everyone is present except Bawan. Why? Can you guess? Because Bawan has committed suicide. Right? Bawan has committed suicide. That's why he's not present at this point. We found another way to destroy Ajanaku, and that way will be brought about by Iyaba. Bawan's proposal on destroying Ajanaku was not acceptable because it would lead to the destruction of Omoyoni's pregnancy. So that's why Belani asked if there was another way for Iyaba to do it, and not what Bawan has proposed, right? So at the Jobele festival, Bawan is absent because we'll later know that he had committed suicide, right? The king gives his speech, and it's time for his immortal bath, but there is no Bawan, because the bath cannot take place without Bawan, a medicine man. Just as the rites are beginning, Desola, Odokunle, Iyaba, and Iyale enter in a ritual procession, and the ceremony is interrupted. Desola embraces Ajanaku to take her life back. I said this yesterday. Odokunle wraps a red cloth sewn with gods and charms around Ajanaku's neck. The effect is that the king loses strength and gradually falls down. All this concoction, all these charms were made by Iyaba, and it's working on Ajanaku now. Bawan is dead through suicide, and Ajanaku is dying. Ajanaku is dying. Omoyoni will return to the rightful lover, Belani. Right? Desola will not die again. Right? And so that's why we said the play has a sad, happy ending, which makes it a tragic comedy, because people who do good are rewarded for their good, and the evil characters are rewarded for their evil. Alright? So this is when Iyaba says, whoever wishes to die a decent death should live a decent life. Okay? Omoyoni is about to give birth. Ajanaku is dying. A new king will be announced soon, probably through a more democratic process. Probably Baberin is going to become king because he's the rightful person to become king, because he's the first son of the dead king. They play the tragicomedy as all the good forces characters are rewarded with good, and all the evil characters are rewarded with evil. All right, so that is where our detailed analysis of Once Upon an Elephant by Bosede Ademilua-Afolayan comes to an end, and it is where we bring an end to our class. And I enjoin you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.